we're gonna start in child's pose, and my recommendation would be to start with the knees wide, big toes touching if that's comfortable in your body, and then just extend down. Now sometimes it's a little bit easier on the body to have the hands behind you and the forehead resting down. So you take whatever variation feels good for you. And just start to settle the body in by pressing through the heels of the hands if the hands are extended and dropping the hips back. If the hands are behind you, just draw the navel into the spine and that will draw your hips a little bit deeper. Allow the forehead to rest on something, even if that is just stacked palms or a block or books. And begin to tap into the physical body. Noticing here the parts of the body that are in contact with the earth. And take a moment to actively spread the fingers, to actively press down into the tops of your toes. And just connect to those parts of your body in a way that you may not have yet today. And with the forehead in contact with the earth, bring your attention right to the center of the forehead. And in that space, imagine this giant whiteboard. So it's pretty easy, we all have seen them, this giant whiteboard, and perhaps the space of your mind is busy and that whiteboard is full. So imagine that on your inhale, you could erase the space of the whiteboard. And on your exhale, left behind is this clean slate, to be filled with nothing but breath and movement over the next hour. So as you begin to focus on your breath, if the mind happens to wander, or if to-dos get jotted down on that little whiteboard inside your brain, come back to your breath, erase on the inhale, clean slate on the exhale. This is your hour to do with as you wish, even if it's just staying in child's pose. Walking your hands now over to your right side, taking the left hand on top of the right hand and pressing back through your hips. Feeling that stretch come from the top of your left hip over the side of your waist. Bring the hands back through center, walking them now to your left as you place right hand on top of left hand and push back through the hips once again. Bringing those hands right back through center, you'll rise up, finding hands and knees. Simple cat-cow here. Take about 3, just using your breath. As you round the spine, you exhale, imagine squeezing out the breath. As you draw the belly forward and open the chest, you breathe in. And just perhaps keeping the eyes closed as you really connect with your body and your breath. As you come through a final rounded spine, press your hips back towards your heels, feeling the low back stretch. And then slowly coming back to neutral, opening the eyes if they are not yet open, and taking the right foot behind you as you press back through your heel. So you'll feel that stretch through the arch of the foot, through the Achilles, and through the calf. Just finding that gentle stretch there. And then lifting that leg up to hip height as you extend out through your left fingertips, finding spinal balance here. Navel pulling upward to spine, supporting the low back. Holding and breathing. Imagine that every inhale you're reaching from navel to fingertips, and from navel through heel, opposite directions. Take a breath in, and on your breath out, elbow and knee touch under the body. If balance is an issue tonight, hand can come down, you can just draw the knee in. We're going to take it 2 more times, extending and pulling under, and extending and pulling under. Good. Last time, you'll hold here in balance for 1 more breath, and drop that hand down. Draw your knee under your hip once again, find a cat-cow reset. Coming back to neutral, left toes will step back, pushing through the heel before we rise that leg off of the floor. Just getting the back of the leg to open up. And lifting up to hip height, pulling the navel into the spine as you reach the right fingertips forward. Breathing here. We know to reach in opposite directions on the inhale. And on the exhale, you'll think about the navel pulling up and connecting to the spine. One more deep breath in here. And then exhale, elbow comes to knee under the body. We inhale to extend. We exhale to pull under. 2 more times, extend, pull under. Last time, we extend and pull under, make the connection. And then extend again, hold for a full breath cycle. Dropping hand, dropping knee. 1 cat-cow. Now again, in your rounded spine, you'll press your hips back to your heels. This time, you're going to press your left hip over to the left. And then come through center and press your right hip over to the right. Coming back through center, neutral spine. We're going to take the right foot back, lifting to hip height. Left arm forward. This time, elbow comes toward hip, knee comes toward shoulder, and then we extend. So it's this crunch through the oblique on the right side. Extend. 2 more here. Extending. Last 1. Extend, hold here. Let the hand drop down and bring the foot behind you to your left. So you're pressing back through your, I don't know if you can see where my foot is, through your heel, and drop your forearms down. You'll feel quite a bit of support from your left outer hip. Slowly drawing that knee down. With your forearms still to the earth, push your hips back and feel that in your shoulders now. Low back becoming neutral, shoulders starting to open. Rising up to neutral, now stacking wrists underneath shoulders once again as the left foot comes back and lifts up. Extend out, right fingertips this time. Pull elbow to hip, knee to shoulder, and extend. Elbow to hip, knee to shoulder, extend. 2 more here. Crunch, extend. Last time, crunch, and extend. Good. Drop the hand, bring the foot behind you now to your right side. Forearms drop down. Feeling that support on your right outer hip. Little stretch on the left side waist. Bringing the knee back underneath your hip, taking the forearms down. Again, press your hips back. This time, let your palms come to touch and send your thumbs up to the nape of the neck as we get into the upper spine and across the backs of the arms. Good, release forearms down, slide those hands under the shoulders once again. Just adding on 1 more time, draw the belly down, lengthen the chest forward, breathe in. Round your spine as you breathe out, push your hips back towards your heels. This time, swing your hips to the left, but draw your left hand over to the right as you bring that stretch all the way across the side of your body. Coming right back through center, you're going to draw your right hip to the right and your right hand to the left. And coming right back through center, neutral spine. Take that right leg and send it out to the right side of the room. Walking back so that you're standing on your left knee. Let your right fingertips come down and your left arm reach up. So side of the waist is pretty warm at this point. We're going to get into the QL, which is the part of the back that's just above your hip. So you're going to reach open to the left just a bit, and then as you close, imagine you want to tap your thumb on the right hand. Inhale, open the chest up, open the rib up. Exhale, tap that thumb. Last time, open up. Good. Now, as you close off, you're going to grab hold of either the wrist or the forearm and start to pull down while you press the hip to your left side. You should feel that come right up over the big muscle of the low back. And then circle the hands around, taking them to the floor. You're going to start with the hands on the floor and then just press the hips back and rise to neutral. Press the hips back and rise to neutral. Last time, hips will drop back. You can stay right here, or the forearms can drop down as the hips come a bit deeper toward that left heel. Inner thigh opening. Releasing up into tabletop pose as you draw that right knee underneath the hip. Taking the left leg out now, walking your hands back so you're standing now on your right knee. You'll take the left fingertips down the leg and reach up. Feeling that stretch over the side first. Open the chest up on a breath in. Close, imagine tapping to that thumb. Inhaling, we rise. Exhale, tap. Last time, rising up. Tapping here, holding wrist or forearm, pushing the hip to the right. Feeling that deep stretch over the big muscle of the low back. And as we come through center, the hands will drop to the earth. Shifting the hips back. Drawing forward. Shift back. Draw forward. And last time, you're going to shift back, dropping the forearms if that feels comfortable for you. And then slowly rise up, hands and knees, drawing left knee under hip. Curling your toes under, lift your hips up, find that first down dog of the night. And start to pedal out your heels here. Maybe head dropping heavy, release through shoulders and neck. From here, settle both heels to the earth. Feel the spine neutralize. If there's pulling on your low back, bend your knees even more. We're here for one more full breath. And then begin to walk your hands to the back of the mat. You'll separate your feet out, hip width distance or as wide as the mat. Grab opposite elbow to opposite hand, hanging here like a rag doll. Bending the knees quite a bit so that the low back is not being pulled. You almost want to connect your rib cage or the belly to the tops of the thighs, even if that means bending the knees deeper. Slowly drop your hips so you're almost like you're sitting in a chair. And from there, round your spine up, one vertebra at a time, nice and slow. Taking the gaze upward last, so your hands come beside you, palms face forward, lift your gaze up. And then level that gaze as the arms rise, hook your thumbs. Inhale, rise up, and as you exhale, come up and over to your right side. Just feeling that nice deep side waist stretch once again. Now from here, we're going to drop that left shoulder a bit. If it's too much on the back, bend the knees. Because what we're doing here is we're stretching the low back. So if there's too much happening in the legs, bend the knees a bit more. Slowly come through center, straighten out, up and over now left side. Find the stretch and then drop that right shoulder. Good. Inhale, come through center. As you exhale, fold it forward. Walk your hands out to find a plank pose. In your plank pose, tap your knees down to the floor and then extend your heels. Tap your knees down to the floor and extend your heels. Last time you'll tap down, extend the heels, and then your choice, knees to the floor, knees lifted. We're going to lower all the way to the earth here. Letting your forearms stack, forehead will rest. Let the knees bend and windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Just releasing that low back before we come into a back bend. Relax those feet down. Hands come beside you, thumbs toward lower ribs. Let the elbows draw in. Let the chest rise up. Find cobra pose. Release any tension through the glutes. Woo, we're really getting the wind now. Curl your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog once again. From here, let's inhale, right leg will lift up. Bend that knee, peel the hip open. If this is not comfortable on your shoulders, you can do the same thing from tabletop pose, knee down. Send that leg through as you step up to find a crescent lunge. Right toes forward, left heel lifted, sweeping the arms up. Grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand. You're going to reach up and over, again, side waist stretch. And then draw all the way up through center. Take the hands down through center chest. Fold forward. We're going to twist to your right side. Stay here or maybe open the arms. If it's comfortable for you, elbow hooks outside of knee. Breathing into that twist, feeling that low back ring out. And slowly we rise up, sweep those arms. Fold it forward, frame your foot. Now, keep your left hand down, twist open through the right arm. Much lower twist, much more open twist. And take the hand down to the earth. Step it back, plank pose. Your choice how you get there, we lower to the floor. This time right into cobra pose as we open up across the chest. And back to your downward facing dog. Let's inhale that left leg high, bending the knee, peeling the hip open. Sending that foot through now, left toes forward, crescent lunge, right heel high. Sweep the arms up. Grabbing hold of your right wrist, we come up and over to the left, creating space on that side body. Coming back through center. Let the hands come through center chest and hinge forward at your hips. From here we twist, either opening the arms or hooking the elbow. But ringing out from that low belly, right to left. Slowly come back through center. We're going to lift and rise, breathe in. Fold over the leg, frame the foot, plant your right hand, twist left. Slowly frame that foot, step back, plank pose, and again lower through from knees or from lifted, and come right into cobra. And then back to your downward facing dog. Now again, we're going to walk our hands to the back of the mat. This time, lift and lengthen halfway, palms come to shins. Walk your hands very slowly up your legs as you come to stand. We'll stand into the right leg, palms down facing forward, or hands down, palms forward. Lift up through that left knee. So navel coming to spine, you should feel neutral through the low back. We're going to step forward into that left foot and fly into airplane pose here. Now from airplane pose, hands will come to hips. You're going to take the right foot and step it in front of your left foot. So you're crossing over, pinky toes come toward one another. Sweep your arms up. You're going to reach up and over to your left side. You should feel this a bit deeper into your, reach to your right side. You should feel it deeper in your left side waist. Coming up through center, hands will come to hips. Slowly fold forward over those crossed legs. Hands can come to knees, shins, or perhaps the floor, but wherever you are, think about the chest lengthening forward, sending the lowest rib as if it's reaching to the front of that knee. Should feel the outside back of the back leg. So in this case, the left leg is behind. Walk your hands forward. You're going to take the foot that's in front of you, your right foot, and send it up behind you like a standing split. Now walk your hands back and feel the entire hamstring of that left leg opening up. And slowly let the right foot meet the left foot. Lengthen here, halfway lift. Release and fold. Rise all the way up to stand. Good. Take the hands right through center chest. Stand into your left foot. Lift your right knee. And then you are going to slowly step down and come into airplane pose with left leg lifted. Good. From airplane pose, hands come to hips. Take the left foot now in front of and across the right foot. Good. Arms will rise up. Grab hold of right wrist. Lift up and over to your left side. And come back through center, hands coming to hips. Folding forward wherever is comfortable for you. It might be right here, or perhaps you walk down the legs. But always keeping that nice flat spine. Maybe a little bit of pressure into the big toe edges of the feet. Walk your hands a bit forward. That's going to give you space to unwind the left leg that was in front and lift it up. Walk your hands back as you feel the stretch come deeper into the right hamstring. And slowly bring left foot to meet right foot. Lengthen here, halfway lift. Plant those hands, step it back, find plank pose. Lowering down to the earth, lifting the chest in cobra, and then meeting back in your downward facing dog. Walk your hands back. So we're going to repeat that sequence, but we're adding on. Lengthen here, halfway lift, fold forward, rise and reach. Let the hands come down through center chest, standing into right foot, lift that left leg. This time, only if balance allows, left hand will come to your left knee and you open out to the side. Good, so we're finding a little variation on tree pose here. And then you will slide that forward, kick forward, step down, airplane pose once again. From airplane pose, we're immediately going to come into that standing split as the hands come to the earth and that right leg lifts high. Now, take that right foot, step it way behind you to the left, bend into your left knee and walk your hands up the leg. So now you're coming into what's called a curtsy lunge. You're going to sweep the arms up, grab hold of the right wrist, reach up and over to your left side. And let the hands come to your hips. You're going to bend into both knees, step up so that now right foot is in front of left. And you fold forward once again. Hands to shins, thighs, the earth, whatever works. And then slowly walk your hands up the legs. We're going to unwind the cross of the legs. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through center chest. Standing now into your left leg, you'll reach your right knee up. If balance allows, you reach for that right knee with the right hand and you open out to the side. Slowly come through center, kick the leg out and step it down as you fly into airplane pose, full breath cycle here, and then dive it forward, lifting up, standing split. Now if you want to play with balance, your right hand can come around that right ankle, and maybe your left hand can come to meet it. If the hands are on the leg, release them to the earth. Step back with that left foot over to the right side of the room. Use your hands for leverage to support the low back as you walk up the leg. Find yourself in this curtsy lunge as you lift the arms up and reach up and over now to your right side. Taking your hands to your hips, bend into both knees, step up. This time left foot will be behind right foot and fold it forward. Feeling the back of that left leg. And slowly walk your hands up, unwind those feet, lift your arms, breathe in, fold it forward, breathe out. Lengthen up here, halfway lift. Plant those hands, step it back, plank pose, and lower down to the earth. Lengthening up for your cobra pose, and from here, right back to child's. Feeling neutral through the low back as you rest those hips. We're going to walk the hands back and then come to stand on knees. Hands will come to hips. You're going to send the right foot forward and drop your hips forward and down into a lunge. So feeling openness across your hip flexor and a little bit of tension through that right hip. Now from here, interlace your hands behind your back. Knuckles drop down and back, chest lifts up. If this is too much on your low back, pull the navel in and back off of the lunge a bit. With your hands, either where they are behind you or to your hips, you're going to try and curl your left toes under and lift up off of that left knee by pressing back through the heel. If it takes a little bit of leverage with hands on front knee, use that leverage. Now hands will come to hips. Good, we're gonna fold forward over that leg. Reach the arms behind you, open up across the chest, feeling neutral through the spine. Good, sweep up, crescent lunge. So as you rise to crescent, you'll allow the shoulder blades to descend down your back. And you're gonna release now to the floor, left hand down, right hand to the knee, and twist. So this is somewhere between that really open twist and the really closed one. And then drop the knee to the earth behind you, again, the left knee, and send your toes out and cornerwise as you let that knee fall open on the right. From here, walk your hands, both hands now to your left side, broadening across the chest, feeling the hips opening up. And then begin to walk your hands back and then send your hips back as you straighten out that right leg. So hands can be inside to the left or they can be to the hips, but the chest is angled left. And you're going to think about sinking the hips back a little bit as you pull energetically back through that right heel. You'll feel the entire hamstring on the right side. Good, slowly walk forward. Send the right leg back, your fine tabletop pose. Notice the difference between the two sides as you take a cat-cow here. From your cat-cow, walk your hands back, standing on the knees once again. Other side, you know what's coming, so try not to anticipate it. Just try and move through with as much grace and ease as is possible. Again, erase the whiteboard, and let's just sink those hips down. This time again, interlace hands behind back, only if that feels okay for you. Find stability in that front foot. Curl the right toes under. You can hang out right here, or you can press through the heel to lift up off of that right knee. Fold forward. Release the grip on the hands and let the palms face down, so you imagine cobra chest, opening up. And then sweep the arms up. Send the hands down, left hand to knee, right hand to earth, finding that little hybrid twist here. Let that right knee drop to the earth. Send the left toes cornerwise and left knee open. And then walk the hands away from the knee as you send the chest diagonally to the right. Begin to walk your hands back as you send your hips back and the left leg straight. Again, hands can be to the earth or to the hips or to whatever furniture is near you so you don't fall over. And you're going to energetically peel back through that left heel as you send the chest forward toward that right corner. Slowly, hands come down, knee bends, you send it back. Take your knees and your shins as wide as the mat. Let's push the hips back to the heels, forearms will draw down. Lengthen back up to this wide tabletop. Shift back, forearms down. Lift up, wide tabletop. Last time, shift back, forearms down. Release here. So you're in this modified frog, child's pose hybrid here. And we're going to walk the hands back and sit ourselves onto our right hip. So the right leg will come forward, the left leg will be behind. And I keep looking out, if you're looking at why my eyes are darting away from the camera, I'm waiting for a tree limb to come through a window. Your right hand will be down behind you, kind of diagonal from the hip. Left hand can be on the hip. You have two options here. You can either lift the chest as you breathe in and then come back to neutral, or you can lift the hips as you breathe in and open the chest and then come back down. We're taking it 3 times, so let's rise or open on the inhale, release to neutral, exhale, rise and open, release to neutral. Last time, you're going to rise and open, stay here, really send that chest open and broad, and then release down as you bring the chest over to your left side. So it's this sweeping semicircle as you walk the hands over to the left. Now we're going to take the hands back through center. You have the option to stay right where you are with the legs. If you would like to come a bit deeper into the hip, which will help the low back, you straighten out the left leg behind you and you come into this half king pigeon pose. So your left leg is extended, your right knee is bent. If you are in that 90-90 that we just took, just fold forward over the shin. Begin to walk your hands once again to the left side. This will bring in a bit of low back on the waist. Right elbow down, palms touch. So you bring the left palm to touch the right. You're going to begin to twist, trying to keep your left hip square to the floor as you twist the ribs up. It might help to be able to hook the elbow into that right foot. Just gives a little bit more leverage, but that's optional. Come right back through center. Curl your left toes if your left leg is extended. You're going to slide that right foot out from under you and find half frog pose. So let your hands come down and you have that right leg in a little frog leg. Okay? So we're going to drop that chest down and walk forward, make a little pillow with the forearms. Rest the forehead down. From here, let the right hand come out in front of you so that you can thread your left arm getting into the shoulder. And then, only if you wish, right hand comes to your right hip and you start to find this twist where you open up. So we've taken this before, it's really nice on the low back, especially after all that we've done to warm up this area. And slowly come back through center. Right hand down so you can unthread left. You're going to take those legs back. Again, make a pillow with the forearms, windshield wiper the feet. And then slowly relax those legs down. Take the hands underneath your shoulders. Press up and over to your left hip. Coming into that 90-90 with the right leg behind. Hand will come diagonally behind your left hip. Again, you can just open the chest or you can lift the hips. Breathe in, broaden. Breathe out, release to neutral. Breathe in, broaden. Breathe out, release to neutral. Last time, broaden, lift, and reach. And then full big sweeping circle over to your right side. It's a really nice stretch over that low back here. We're going to walk our hands forward. And again, you have the option here of pigeon, or you can stay right where you are. But wherever you land, your forearms will walk forward over that left shin. If you're in pigeon, that right leg is extended behind you. We're again going to find ourselves walking the hands to the right. Maybe letting that left elbow drop down so that the palms can touch and you can find that twist. Again, totally optional, and if you want to take it a little bit deeper, you hook into the arch of the foot. Wherever you are, you're going to unwind, curl your right toes, and send that left foot out into half frog as you come belly down onto the mat. And just allow that knee to slide open a bit. Let the left arm extend so that you can thread the right arm. Feel the opening in the shoulders to start. And then take that left hand to your hip. Open up, finding that twist so that face looks at the ceiling, and you try and square the chest off as much as possible. Slowly we'll come back through center, unthreading the arm, sending the left leg back, making that pillow with your forearms and windshield wipering the feet. Letting those legs relax down. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Lift up, tabletop pose. Round your spine into a cat back and push your hips back towards your heels. Go ahead, come right back to neutral. We're gonna find a seat and send the legs wide like the letter V. So you can send them as wide as the body allows, but what will tend to happen is your tailbone will tuck. So you might need to lift the hips and shift back just a touch. And you'll feel that change. Now from here, hands to the tops of your knees or the fronts of your shins, lift the chest up, and just give a little fold forward, just until you feel that the inner thighs. If you feel your sits bones lifting away from the earth, rock back a bit, because we're not ready to go further. Keep lifting that chest, breathe in. Take the hands just in front of you, maybe a little bit more weight comes forward. Press out through your heels, squeeze up on the quadricep muscles of the upper thigh. Relax that, and then see if maybe you can walk forward a bit more. Again, without collapsing into the chest, you always want to lead with open heart, open chest. And let's walk the hands slightly over to your right. You have two options here. You can drop to your shin with the right hand, or you can drop the right forearm to the earth. Wherever you are though, the left hip kind of wants to lift a bit off the floor. See if you can cement it to the earth, and then take the left hand up behind your head. So you're feeling this deep opening across the rib cage. Slowly release through center. Again, left hand can come to shin, or you can drop a bit deeper, forearm to the earth inside the knee, right hip roots, right hand behind the head. And then back through center, tent the fingertips in front. Lift your chest. Again, we fold forward slightly. And begin to walk those hands back. Point your toes, slide those feet in, drop the soles of the feet to the earth just in front of you, and hands will come to your shins. You're gonna lift up, so just seated cat-cow here, round out. Good, lift up and round out. Last time you'll lift up. Now, as you round, you're gonna send your left hand over to your right hand and push back through that left rib cage. Take that through center and take it in the other direction. Pushing back through your right rib cage now. And come right back to center. Hands will come behind your back. You're going to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Good. Now from here, we're going to slowly release down and draw those knees right into the chest. With your hands on your shins, inhale to press outward, the arms extend. And as you exhale, draw the knees in, the elbows bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull in. One more time. Extend outward away from the body, and then pull inward toward the body. Keep that nice, tight compression into the low belly, and then let the arms release out. Let your knees drop high up towards your right armpit, and then take your gaze over your left shoulder. Feeling that stretch right across the low back. Slowly draw up through center. You'll take those knees high again. Drop them over as if they're reaching for that left armpit, and maybe look over your right shoulder. And come right back through center. You're going to send the sole of the left foot down. Your right leg will come up. Press through the heel, flex the foot. Interlace behind shin, knee, ankle, or onto the foot. And start to pull the big toe back as if it wants to meet a point behind your right shoulder. Slowly release right ankle to left knee. Hands come out beside you. You're going to walk that left heel in and press up. You'll feel opening through that outer right hip. Release the hips down. Send the left knee in towards your chest, so you're now interlacing through that little pinhole you've made. And drawing the knees closer to the body. Perhaps getting a little bit of hamstring stretch if you'd like to stretch that left heel upward. And release sole of left foot down, ankle stays crossed, arms drop out to the side, knees drop right. Coming right back through center. Sole of right foot will release to the earth. Left leg will come up toward the ceiling. Hands behind knee, shin, or ankle. And draw the big toe back as if it wants to touch that imaginary spot behind. Slowly release left ankle over right knee, hands come beside you, right heel walks in, press up. You're finding this modified bridge pose, figure 4 bridge. And release down. Send that right knee in towards your chest as you interlace, and perhaps go for that hamstring stretch as you press up through the heel. Release the sole of the right foot down, keeping ankle crossed, and drop the knees to the left. Coming right up through center, both knees are going to come into the chest. This time, just like we did when we took that modified child's pose with the legs wide, shins are going to come wide and knees will draw down as if they want to touch the inner upper shoulders. Now what will want to happen here in the body is you'll feel the tailbone try and lift up. Use the navel to the spine to press that tailbone down and feel the hip creases and that tourniquet effect that's being created. And then slowly relax that down, soles of the feet to the floor. Walk your heels in so the middle finger almost brushes those heels. As you lift the hips up, let the arms rise and come behind the head. As you exhale, let the hips drop, the arms drop. Inhale, rise everything, lift and reach. Exhale, release down. Last time, inhale, rise everything, lift and reach. Exhale, release down. Taking both knees into the chest. Little bit of rocking from side to side here. Again, similar to when we are prone or face down when we windshield wiper the knees, same idea. And then send those legs up as you just allow all of the work we did standing to release and reverse the blood flow. We're here for a few breaths. Your choice, your practice. If there are any other stretches in the body that you wish to feel free to find them now. If you wish to enter Shavasana at this point, feel free. We have about 5 more breaths before we find full stillness. if you have not already found your way to final relaxation, you can arrive there now using whatever props might make your body most comfortable, perhaps something under the head or the knees. Finding your stillness. Taking a moment to revisit that whiteboard. Has it filled? Is there a list? If so, that's okay. We just wipe it away. Using the breath, inhale. Exhale to that clean slate. If those thoughts arise, try not to write down their storylines on your whiteboard. Simply allow them to rinse away with your exhale. Imagining your body completely surrendered into the earth. Imagining your breath the source of clarity, the source of peace and stillness in the body and the mind. And knowing that both on and off the mat you have that opportunity to visit the breath, to find moments of peace and presence through the day. Slowly begin to bring your attention back to your physical body through breath. Bringing gentle movements into the body, perhaps fingers and toes begin wiggling. Ankles and wrists find circles. Any final stretches as you come back to full awareness. Gently drawing your knees to your chest as you roll off to one side and find yourself in a comfortable seated position with eyes closed. And as you arrive, take a moment to scan the body and notice any changes you might feel. Reflecting on those changes, feeling perhaps peaceful or a little bit more centered and grounded. And a small reflection tonight, just about how hard we all work and and how often we might need to give ourselves a break. Pushing ourselves can become so habitual that we deny ourselves any feeling of satisfaction. No matter how well or how much we do, the urge to try harder, do better, do more keeps pushing us. It doesn't let us rest. We still feel it isn't quite good enough. If you've been pushing yourself that hard, you may need more than just a coffee break. Give yourself permission to set that drive aside for a moment. Quiet that part of you that wants to do more. And learn to value how well you already do things, even if no one else sees or appreciates your efforts in the moment. Tell yourself how well you do. You may discover you're doing better than you thought. And now is the time to recognize and find presence in our efforts, big or small, and find peace in stillness when it's called for. So important for our health. So let's rise the arms overhead as we breathe in. Draw the palms to center chest as we breathe out. I'll seal our time together with a single round of Om. Inhaling. Surrendering the head to the heart as you swallow in the back of your throat, raising your thumb knuckles to center forehead. All that is peace and presence in me honors and shines to all that is peace and presence in each of you. Thank you so much. Namaste.